You're listening to the Parents of Hardworking Teens podcast, episode 91. The signs and solutions if your teen's confidence when it comes to their study is declining or maybe already lower than you and they would like. I'm going to share 5 signs that your teen might be lacking confidence in what they're doing or how they're doing it in their study. I'll reveal the 3 things that I see commonly denting confidence in so many students, plus how to interrupt that cycle if this is happening for your teen. I'm Katie Jones, and with over 15 years in education as an award-winning high school teacher, international external examiner, and as a study coach, I've helped thousands of students skyrocket their results and confidence. And this podcast is where I share all my insights, tactics, and tips with you, the parent, so you can help your hardworking teen get happy, smart, and successful in their study, and have you both enjoy the journey along the way. This is the Parents of Hardworking Teens podcast. Hey VIPs, I hope you're doing well. I hope your week is going great so far. I am really looking forward to sharing this particular episode with you because confidence or having more confidence is by far the most common thing that parents tell me that they want as an outcome when they come to me and share information about their teen and where they're at in their study. It is not results. It is not being able to write the perfect essay, although, of course, those things come along with the territory. But it is confidence and having more confidence and feeling more confident in what they are doing and in themselves that parents so often tell me they want for their teens. So I'm going to share with you a live discussion that I ran on this exact topic. I hope you find it really helpful. Let's dive in. So, welcome. As I said, we're going to be talking about your teen's study confidence this evening. I'm going to be sharing with you what I see are the things that are knocking or denting students' confidence in their study. Your teen's confidence when it comes to their study, what they're doing, how they're doing it, what that looks like. I'm going to discuss some of the ways that that shows up, what that actually looks like if your teen is lacking confidence. Because they might not say, I'm not feeling very confident, but you might be able to spot it in certain things that they're doing or not doing. And of course, I'm going to share with you a little bit about how we can try to overcome some of those issues. So if you haven't really hung out with me much before, I'm Katie Jones. I am an award-winning high school teacher of over 16 years now. I have worked with a variety of external exam boards internationally. That is really where I got on this whole train of helping students show they know when it comes to exams and assessments, because I see so many students working hard, learning all of their subject content, but not necessarily putting it across in the way that gets them the marks and the reward that A, they deserve, and B, they are capable of. And that is what I have made it my passion, my mission, my work to do over the past 7 or 8 years now with Rock Solid Study. So I am the founder of Rock Solid Study, and I am the creator of the 10-week Grade Transformation Program, where I train your teen in the skills and strategies and techniques to do exactly that, to show they know when it comes to essays, exams, and assignments. Here's what I'm going to start off by sharing with you here this evening, and that is how I see a lack of confidence for some students showing up. Here's how I see things happening for them, and how I can see that it's not necessarily that this is the problem, but this is coming from a lack of confidence. So see if any of these resonate with you. First one, let me get this nice and close so you can see, is procrastination. If they are procrastinating over a task or getting something done in their study, and this is actually one of the pre-submitted questions that I had was a little bit around this, I will come to that later. Often it can be because they're not actually very confident in what it is they are trying to produce or what it is that they actually need to do. Now, it could be that they don't know exactly what that is, what are they actually supposed to be doing, or it could be that they understand what they're supposed to be doing, but they're not really sure how to go about it or how to, and this is very specific, how to do it in a way that accesses the criteria and the levels and the grades that they are aiming for or hoping to achieve. So procrastination is the first one. Second one, uncertainty. they're just feeling a little bit uncertain about whatever it is they need to be getting on with. So they might be trying to write their essay and they're just not feeling very clear about what that essay question is really asking them to do. They probably know what they're supposed to be writing about in terms of the topic, but they might not be sure exactly how to formulate that essay in order to respond to the question directly. So that's another thing. Next one, confusion. They're just feeling confused. Now, I'm going to add another layer into this. They might be confused about maybe what they're supposed to be doing, but we've talked a lot about that already. There's also an element I see of confusion with students in terms of their results and achievement. So if your teen has ever had a situation where they have gotten a result, but they're a little bit confused as to why, then this could apply to them. It is going to dent their confidence because there might be something where they put in half as much effort and got a better result than something where they put in double the effort and didn't get the result they thought they would or thought they could. They might have an exam question. It might be worth only 2 marks. It might have been worth 6 marks. It might have been worth 20 marks. And they're not really sure why they got the mark that they did for that question. If they got 1 out of 2, why is it only 1 and not 2? What was it missing? Or even, especially if they wrote like 4 lines for that 2-mark question. If they got maybe 7 out of 10, where were the other 3 marks supposed to come in? What were they supposed to do? Or I've had students as well get an A. They'd be like, oh my goodness, I got an A. And one of the first, maybe not the first question I ask, but very soon I ask, do you know why you got it? And sometimes they're like, no, I kind of fluked it. And so as much as that's great that they got the A, they're still a little bit confused. Okay. And then the last one, well, it's actually the last 2, is stress and dread. And I put this one in on purpose because I think this really does happen when your teen is not feeling confident. Stress or dread. I'm dreading that exam. I'm dreading that essay. I'm dreading that presentation. Think about confidence in presenting. And they are dreading getting up and having to present in front of the class. Stress because they're not really sure what they're doing. They don't know if it's going to pay off. They're worried about time. Maybe they're up against time limits. And they've maybe even left it to the last minute because they've been procrastinating. So these are some of the things that we observe. These are some of the things we see happening for students in terms of their study when they are lacking confidence. When they're lacking confidence, this is some of the ways that it might show up. And I have to say, obviously I don't love it because it's not a great feeling, but I love that word dread because I think we can all really resonate with that when you're really just dreading something. It is a little bit different to stress, I think. And I actually think dread is a little bit more applicable when it just comes to confidence and not feeling confident or certain about something. Okay, I want you to have a think about now, like what is causing a lack of confidence for your teen? What is it that's causing them to not feel confident in whatever it is that they need to be doing in their study? It might be overall that they just don't feel like they're a very competent student, or it might be in certain types of tasks, or of course it might be in certain subjects. Okay, so let's have a think about what that is in terms of what is happening. Okay, what is at the root cause of this? The first thing is that they are feeling unclear. They are unclear about what they are being asked to do and how to do it. Might be one, might be other, might be both. What do they have to do and how do they do it? And importantly, for so many students, especially in these upper years of high school, how do they do that in a way that achieves more of the marking criteria? How do they put that across so that it is classed as sophisticated or discerning rather than just appropriate? These are some of the words that we see in some of these marking guides, right? So first one is unclear. Next one, if they are feeling unclear, they are probably going to end up taking their best guess. Now, I did start writing like guessing, they're just guessing, but I was like, no, it's a best guess. Like, it's not like they're literally just shooting in the dark. They probably got some decent ideas, and therefore, let's face it, some of them are going to hit the mark, and some of them are not. And that is why we end up with unpredictable results. That is when sometimes they're hitting the A, but they're not 100% sure why they got the A. Like, or they got credited for doing something. And I've had this happen also recently. I had a student who told me they got an A grade in their short story, their narrative, their creative piece. And they said they got an A. And they said the teacher wrote how they loved like the double meaning and the symbolism of one of the elements they'd had in their story. And they're like, I didn't mean to do that. Like, that was not intentional. I didn't realize there's a double meaning, but the teacher had perceived it as had this underlying meaning. So this creates uncertainty or unpredictability when they're getting their results. And so sometimes they're going to come out with a result maybe higher than they thought, and sometimes they're going to come out with a result maybe lower than they thought. And what that means is things feel a bit unpredictable, and therefore, of course, that's going to dent their confidence. They're going to wonder next time, well, am I doing this right? Am I doing it wrong? Because last time I thought I was doing it right, and it turns out I didn't get the mark that I thought. Or last time I didn't even think it was that great, and I still got a great mark. So, unpredictable. Now, what that means is next time they come to do a task, they're feeling pretty unclear again. And then that means they're taking their best guess. And when they're taking their best guess, you can guess what happens. They get unpredictable results. And we can see, folks, that this just becomes a cycle. And so what we really need to do is find a way to break that cycle. We need to find a way to break the cycle. And here's how we do it. So that they're not just continuing to accept that it's normal to feel a little bit unsure at times. And of course, it's maybe okay to feel a little bit unsure in some times, but for so many students, it's kind of the norm. They're always sort of not entirely sure if they're doing it right. They're always having their best guess at answering an exam question. They're always taking a bit of a stab at what might be the best evidence to include in their essay. They don't necessarily feel certain, and they're not a 5 out of 5 on their confidence. So here's how we could interrupt that cycle, because otherwise, if you think about it, it's going to continue to go round, but it's not just going round, it's going to potentially become a bit of a negative spiral. So what we need is our study formula, our magic formula for successful study, which is knowledge plus the application of that knowledge. So most students are doing great with learning their content in class. They understand the subject knowledge. They understand the content that they're being taught from the syllabus, but they're not certain or confident in how to apply it to any question at whatever level it's being asked and in a way that meets the criteria or the standards that they're being judged against. And therefore, what that involves is knowing the what they are actually having to do, what means they will directly answer the question, and they also need to have the skills and strategies and tools and techniques to actually then do it. It's one thing to know what you're doing, it's another thing to know how to do it. And this is the really huge part, the how part. So I could teach your student all of the different levels of commands, and I do in the 10-week Great Transformation Program, and all of the different cognitive verbs. And they can understand what they are and what they mean, but how to respond to them is a whole other thing. So this is this whole aspect of application. Now, yes, they do still need their subject knowledge. So if they're not confident in their subject knowledge, and there are definitely ways to improve their learning and their understanding and their retention of that information, for sure. And I definitely cover that off with students as well. But the big focus is really on this application part. Because then when they have that, they will be able to feel, when they don't just feel, they will be a lot clearer. They're going to turn unclear into clear and certain and clarity. They're going to turn a best guess into knowing exactly what to do and how to do it, and having the skills and tools and strategies to be able to do it efficiently and effectively, aka accurately. And then their results are going to become a lot more predictable. And even if, it doesn't mean they're going to be getting straight A's all the way through, but they will be able to reflect on the result they've got, and they'll know exactly, now I see exactly where I lost that mark. Or, I can see that I met that criteria here, here, and here. That's what we are aiming for. And this is the way to do it. And the big part is those skills of application, which is what I am all about. I hope that some of those indicators and some of those insights are helpful to you and to your teen. If you have any feedback for me, or if you have a question that you'd like to ask about anything that I cover on the podcast, you're really welcome to email me. It's support@rocksolidstudy.com. I promise that you will always get a reply. And until next week,
I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll see you back here again soon. If you're ready to have your teen achieve their best possible result with less stress, then I want to invite you to enroll them in the 10-week Grade Transformation Program, where they're going to learn the key concepts, skills, and strategies to catapult their performance in assessments and exams. It's risk-free. They either achieve bigger and better results with a whole lot more confidence in 10 weeks, or we refund you in full. Just head over to www.rocksolidstudy.com/program, and I'll see you there.